the head of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Benedicto Yuwico, told us that they were in touch with you for the procurement as well from Bharat Biotech of their vaccine. Could you tell us more about it?
Yes, the Bharat Biotech vaccine, as some of you may be aware, is a vaccine that's been developed by one of India's leading biotech companies, Bharat Biotech. It is a vaccine that is now currently being used in India's extensive vaccination program. As you know, we've already crossed over 40 million vaccinations with a target of about 300 million by August. Bharat has applied for an emergency use authorization in the Philippines, and we are expecting that this authorization would happen very quickly. And in parallel, we are also hoping that discussions can take place on potential supply agreements. Mr. Joey Concepcion and his Go Negocio have coordinated possible procurement by the private sector on a tripartite basis as per the Philippine rules. We support that engagement. We'd like to see a lot of these small and medium enterprises benefit from this wonderful Indian vaccine. It had an efficacy of about 81% in its phase 3 trials in interim results. It's also showing a great promise in terms of some of the variants. So we believe that this vaccine would be a big contribution to the Philippines' fight against COVID-19.
Ambassador, once you get the EUA, up to how many doses might Bharat be able to provide to the Philippines, and how soon might that be? Because we had the impression that Mr. Yuwico was in talks with you as far back as January.
Yes, we've been actually in contact with the Philippines government since January. Bharat actually filed. It was the first foreign regulatory filing for Bharat Biotech in the Philippines worldwide. That was on 21st of January. And we've been in touch with the Philippines government. Of course, the number of doses really depends on when the supply contracts are concluded. I believe that we may be slightly delayed on that score already. And that's why I'm hoping that these discussions can take place quickly, because just about 10 days ago, Bharat just closed a 20 million doses deal with Brazil. And there are various other countries with whom it has signed term sheets with over 20 countries. So at this stage, I'm not too sure about the volumes, but we are optimistic that over a period of time, up to 8 million doses of Bharat can be supplied. Of course, if we work towards an early agreement, we can have some doses coming in the second quarter itself.
Do they require, like Pfizer and AstraZeneca, who required the indemnity law before they could actually assure us of supplies? No? I wonder if Bharat and SII require the same thing.
Well, the indemnity law is something I think that has come up in the context of some other suppliers. But now that is part of the law, I believe that all companies would want to avail of that provision. But it was not something that our companies had initially put forward as a requirement.
Well, would it have helped? Okay, just to follow up, would it have helped? Would it have helped if we had applied for that earlier, much earlier? Do you think?
You mean if we had asked for the vaccines earlier, would it have?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, possibly yes, because we are very confident about Indian pharma. We are the largest supplier of medicines to the Philippines already. We believe that our vaccine, this Bharat Biotech vaccine, has shown excellent safety outcomes, and there have been no adverse events following immunization in India. Of course, as a corporation, if the provision exists under the law, they would like to avail of it.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Well,
we're just wondering because, as you know, the schedules of the arrivals of vaccines have been much delayed. And as it stands now, we can hardly wait for the third quarter to come so that the majority of these vaccines would be made available here. Go ahead, Ed. Sorry.
Well, sir, during our discussion with the ambassador or former ambassador Yuwico last week, we got the impression from him that the discussions with the Bharat Biotech by the PCCI, it was a missed opportunity because he was saying that we could have gotten the vaccines by now. I'm wondering, from your point of view, was there a point of delay, or is it really? Or was it an imagined thing by the PCCI? I mean, could we have gotten the vaccines earlier from Bharat, as claimed by the PCCI? And is there any point of conflict or point of delay along the process?
Well, I'd be very reluctant to wade into a domestic discussion about, potential delays in vaccine procurement. Of course, there was a window where we could have secured a larger number of doses earlier. But, there were also scientific factors in that Bharat did not complete its phase 3 trials, and they've
Yes.
not been available. Our own preference would have been to have, rather than sequential discussions, parallel discussions on commercial arrangements, even as the scientific process of regulatory approval is being carried out. To that extent, perhaps we could have saved some time.